Well, well, well.
Well.
It's another Tuesday in this
Talk Tuesday, BB.
in this farce of a society we live in. We were just talking about some heavy stuff off mic, so forgive our
Yeah.
less than enthused energy levels for the time
Oh,
being.
I'll bring it up. Don't you worry.
But bring it up, yes. It's Talk Tuesday. It's Josh Koval. It's the Still Loading Podcast. It's Experience Point. It's Andrew Kinsey. It's all of the above. And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. So, without further ado, I know we both have a lot to talk about. And we've been talking a lot off mic, which is eating into our stream time, which is fine. I will first ask, aside from all of the aforementioned things, how has your week been?
Well, other than the stuff off mic, which we can't really say because it's, it's personal. It's
Yeah.
personal, but I'm doing fine. I'm doing okay overall. Still kicking.
Still fighting
uh,
through this existence.
I'm a wrecking machine. uh, yeah, it just been a busy week so far. Had a busy weekend. I have a busy weekend ahead. We're going to the beach over the weekend for my mother-in-law bought my daughter tickets to Jillian's Wonderland Pier in Ocean City, not Ocean City, Atlantic City, because that is closing down permanently. And they already went once before, but like this is like the last time they're gonna have a chance to go. So this time I'm going. I didn't go last time. And then we're going to leave early Sunday morning so I can get back, and we are going to then I have a D&D session, my first D&D session in like 5 years. So
Nice.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to play. It's been a lot of fun. I've been binging that podcast Nerd Poker for like at least a month now. You know what? I'm gonna look this up quick because there is excuse me, because my podcast app that I use, it gives me pretty detailed listening to statistics. Oh, what's up, Drew?
What's up, Drew?
Drew the Damager is in the house.
Drew the Mage.
So it gives me pretty detailed statistics. For example, today I listened to 6 hours and 26 minutes worth of podcasts.
Dang.
I work in an office, man. I can just listen to podcasts all day long. Yesterday was lower. It's only been 3 hours, but it's funny. Like my most listened to show is Retronauts. Shout out to Retronauts, like of all time. And since I've been keeping track of these statistics, which date back to 2016, is when the first, and even then it must have been like December of 2016 because there's only 16 hours on there. So I've spent 42 days of my life listening to Retronauts since 2016.
Crap. 42
I listen to
days.
a lot of podcasts. Yeah,
That is wild.
it's a lot. So, I have not listened to Nerd Poker until I want to say, like this year. I haven't listened to it. I've listened to it before, but I want to say until about, I want to say maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months ago. So, by and large, most of the year I have spent listening to other things. I'm already up to 2 days and 4 hours on Nerd Poker in the last 2 months. Put in perspective, Retronauts I've actually severely dropped down on. I've only spent a day and 11 hours this year so far.
Only a day.
Only a day, and there's 4 other podcasts ahead of them. 4 other podcasts ahead of them. One of them, the Steve Dangle podcast, they post 3 days a week. So I listen to all 3 episodes every single week. So I'm already up to 7 days and 10 hours for the Steve Dangle podcast.
Holy crap. That's
so
wild.
yeah, Nerd Poker. I've listened to 59 episodes, totaling 2 days and 4 hours of those 59 episodes this year alone.
Dang. I bet, I think my longest, aside from the Still Loading podcast,
that you totally listen to all the time.
constantly, the only time I turn it off is when we're doing these. I don't know if it counts as a podcast, but my media consumption granted, I haven't listened in a long time. It's probably Critical Role. I've even just I've only listened to the first campaign, but even just one of their campaigns is like hundreds of episodes at like 3 to 5 hours each. It's
They're
absurd.
3 hours minimum, and the first one's like over 100 episodes. It's like
Yeah.
130 episodes or some shit. Like that's a lot.
Yeah, yeah. So that's
That's
definitely
over
up there.
300 hours alone,
Right.
minimum.
Yeah, I think it's the same. If you listen to all of the Critical
That's 12
Role,
and a half days, at least 12 and a half days.
holy crap! If you listen to all of the Critical Role or watch all the Critical Role media, I think it's the same as watching all of One Piece twice, if I remember right.
That's just bonkers,
Which is
man.
absurd, but it's cool that you're playing D&D. I haven't played that in so long. Oh my god, you haven't heard the second campaign? No, I have not. Only the first one. I got a little bit burnt out because I was listening to it all the time / watching all the time, and I would even go at like 1.75 times speed just to get through it faster, and I was like I think I need to take a break. So I actually started listening to the Adventure Zone, which I really like. That's very funny. But I'll probably go back to second campaign. And I heard the third one is great too. And Vox Machina, the cartoon on Amazon streaming, Amazon Prime, is excellent.
Real quick, do you want to take a stab at how many total days since I've started tracking since 2016? Basically 2017. So it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7.5 years so far worth of podcast listening. Do you want to take a stab at how many days I've spent listening to podcasts?
In its entirety.
Yeah, out of those 7 years, including the 16 hour. Okay, in 2016, it's 16 hours and 37 minutes. So, give or take a little bit, but that's not much comparatively.
It's gotta be. I mean, you listen to one podcast for 42 days, so 70 days. No, dang.
367 days.
Oh my god. I was like, it can't be much higher than that because your most watched one is 40 days. 700 days.
So if I look at all time, right?
Wait, that doesn't make sense. Oh, that's all time, right? I was like, this year.
I said all time in
Right,
the last
right.
7 years. Yeah, Retronauts is 42 days. The Steve Dangle podcast is 31 days. Comedy Bang Bang is 28 days. PHLY Philadelphia Flyers podcast is 24 days. That is pretty much going to drop off a cliff because they completely changed up the format of it, where the people who were on it, they all just got different jobs and moved on to different places and all this other stuff. And now 2 of them are still around, but it just doesn't have the same energy as it was before. And it's a bummer because the 2 around, it's Charlie and Bill who are still around, and Steph and Kelly are the ones who now are off kind of doing their own thing, though Kelly shows up a decent amount on the new show. And it just doesn't, the vibe's completely different. There's a lot more ads in it because they're sponsored by corporate media and other stuff. So like they're still themselves, but it's completely, and now they do a weekly hour-long show. Like they're making a lot of content, but it's just once it went, or not weekly, I'm sorry, daily. It's a 5-day-a-week hour-long show.
Whoa.
And it's too much for me to keep up
That's
with. So
entirely too much.
yeah, and I love hockey, but not that much. I loved their weekly show. It was like this perfect recap. And the Steve Dangle podcast is a hockey podcast as well, but they cover the entire league. I'm not listening to just Flyers stuff for a whole day.
I agree with Mr. Gilmer here. Down with the corporations. Down with the corpos, man. What's up, Mr. Gilmer?
So I won't read off all the others that I've spent days of my life listening to, but
yeah,
it's been a number of there's a lot on here.
700 days. I mean, that's like within the last 7 years.
367. Come on now.
Oh wait, 367 days?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So within the last 7 years, you've spent an entire year of that listening to podcasts. Holy crap.
While working usually.
Yeah.
Mowing the lawn and other stuff. It's not like I've just spent an entire year not doing something else, but yeah.
Sure.
It is wild to see.
That's absurd. Yeah. Very cool. Well, why don't we get into things that we have experienced. I know one of yours. You've
Yes,
been posting
I
about it.
tweeted about it.
You sure did. I'm sure you're chomping at the bit to talk about your. I'm
good.
Is it fair to say your favorite filmmaker?
Yeah, it's but that's like a very light favorite. Not because I dislike his movies a lot. It's just I don't. It's very hard for me to be passionate about any one filmmaker or even game maker. I find myself I get really like if I find like a creator that I really resonate with, it's usually in the podcast sphere. Matt Gorley, Kevin Smith. For a while, I got into him because of his podcasts. But Matt Gorley is like one of my favorite podcasters out there, and I desperately want to get him on the podcast at some point, even though I know he's not like a huge gamer. But the dude is such an inspiration to me, and
yeah, that'd be cool.
I can't even. He has a podcast called Mall Walkin',
Nice.
where it's just him and his friend Mark McConville walking around malls and just narrating what they see and just having goofy conversations.
I like that.
And it's fun. It's really chill. It's really zen, and you hear the atmosphere of the mall. Periodically, they've gotten kicked out of Sears or Macy's one time.
Really?
For record, yeah. Which they were surprised at too. They're like, "There's no one in here. What is wrong with you?"
Right, and it's just audio, right? It's just them walking and talking. It's not like they have a film crew.
Exactly.
Weird.
So yeah.
The filmmaker in question we're talking about is, of course, Uwe Boll, your favorite filmmaker of all time.
Uwe Boll was just on. He was on the Side Scrollers podcast. Do not listen to the Side Scrollers podcast. Side note. It's a bunch of fucking transphobes and pieces of shit. Like, what is it? The guy who started it is Stuttering Craig, who founded the website Screw Attack. They're the ones that hosted AVGN for quite a long time. So he has cachet. Like, the dude has a pedigree in like video content creation and like content creation in general, but he's always been a little bit more on the conservative side, which is I don't have an issue with that depending on how you voice it. He hold on, let me find it. I've blocked him on Twitter because I can't deal with his bullshit anymore. But because of all the like inclusivity stuff, DEI, as people like to be angry about, he started a thing called the Real Game Awards.
Oh God.
Where it's supposed to be like, what is it? This was from July earlier this year. It's become even more obvious. The people who work in and write about the industry you love hate you. Let's take action and reclaim our voice in video games. Take Games Back is now the Real Game Awards, and he created an official Twitter account, the official award show of gamers. Learn more below. And if you actually look into it, they are the way that because the whole point is that they're going to, you the gamer will get to vote for it. So the Game Awards is problematic as it is, as we've discovered, as recently as last year with them shooing off the developers because Drew, it's very incel-y.
Yeah, I get that vibe too.
And but he what is it? So he set it up, and you have to pay to vote. You have to pay them money in order to vote. Are you serious? I'm dead fucking serious. If I go to the website, I'm curious. Let's see. $5 monthly support, and that's just for $5 a month. You just want to support on a month basis. Thank you. $15 a month. Suggest categories the future award show, which that's bad English for the future award.
Yeah.
$30 every. Okay, sorry, it's not $5 every month, $15 a year, not $15 a month.
Okay, I was gonna say.
That's a lot better.
Still too much.
$15 a year, you can suggest categories. $30 a year, you can suggest, nominate, and vote on the future award show. $150 every year, you suggest categories, nominate, vote, and attend the future award show. And then because he lives in the fucking aughts, 1337 LEET. The LEET sponsorship. Suggest, nominate, vote, and you are listed as a sponsor for the future event.
Wow.
So you pay them money to vote on the Game Awards. And like, listen,
You can vote for Jeff Keighley's Game Awards for free.
yeah, only on like one of the categories.
Well, like 10 of them, I think. It usually takes me a while to vote for all of them.
My issue is with it is like, besides the fact that it's coming from someone just whining that like there's more inclusivity of games and he doesn't
Right.
like it. It's just it's so fucking annoying. And I realize now I should probably stop talking about this because he does have a lot of minions and this is going to go up on YouTube. So keep this in, but don't put it in the title, please.
Okay.
I don't want to deal with this bullshit. Though I will give credit to one person, David Jaffe, David Scott Jaffe. I'm going to look up his name real
Sounds
quick.
familiar.
He's the creator of God of War.
Right, yes.
He is a very outspoken individual. Not a lot of people like. Is it Scott David Jaffe? I thought it was David Jaffe. Yeah, David Scott Jaffe. That's what David Jaffe on he has created a YouTube show called Gabbin Games. He's out of the games industry. He just kind of does commentary stuff. People love him and hate him, but he is actually genuinely an ally to the trans community. He has I'm so sorry, I'm probably going to misgender his child. I don't remember what they transitioned to.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say his child.
Yeah.
But he's been vocally supportive of it, and he went on to the Side Scrollers podcast and gave them shit about their viewpoints.
Nice.
And to their credit, they kept everything in. They didn't cut it. They didn't cut any clips to make him look like a piece of shit. They kept it exactly as it was. And he even said like they're not making me out to. They're not like, if people are gonna be mad at me, they're gonna be mad for my opinion, not for how they clipped my opinion. If that makes
Gotcha.
sense.
Yeah.
So, not saying they're good not saying they have great opinions, but at least credit to them, they weren't trying to smear somebody.
Right, yeah.
So it just, I went on down a rabbit hole. I'm so sorry to
That's all
completely derail the conversation. How did I get on that?
We were talking about Kevin Smith. I said your favorite filmmaker was Uwe Boll, and
I knew Uwe Boll was on the Side Scrollers podcast.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So you watched the newest Kevin Smith movie, aka the newest
I did.
Uwe Boll movie. It's called 4:30.
The 4:30 movie is what it's called.
Was there any showings at 4:30?
No, I had to see it at 6:40.
Lame.
And there was a 3 something and then a 6:40, and it was only in one theater near me because it's a very limited release.
Gotcha.
But man, let me tell you, I'm not used to short movies. It was 88 minutes. It was an hour and 22 minutes, and I was in and out. I was not like, I was expecting to be there for another like 30 minutes, and then the movie ended. I'm like, oh fuck, because I was like, wow, the movie really seems to wrap it up. It must be close to the end. Oh shit, it is close to the end. Has it really been that long? It was about 80 minutes.
Dang.
There we go.
How many? I'm gonna try. I do still want to have the full episode experience share with you, where we do a whole thing, just and you can just gush about Kevin Smith movies. But for my reference, this is his what number movie?
That is a very good question. I don't know off the top of my head. I could just start listing his movies, but let me just go to his filmography real quick.
I had to guess without barely any prior knowledge.
Now, I'm only going to count ones that he has directed, okay? He
Yeah,
has
that's
been
fair.
involved with many different movies, but I'm only going to count ones that he directed.
I would guess this is probably his 7th movie.
Way more than that.
Way more?
1,
Wow.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is his 16th feature film.
16. Wow. And you're right, Drew. Movies are definitely too long. Well, I don't know. I say that, and movies that I really enjoy, I'm like, I never want them to end. But I've been watching a lot of old movies, and I do kind of miss the hour and a half runtime. But 17, that's a lot more than I thought.
I mean, he came onto the scene with Clerks, followed it up with Mallrats, then did Chasing Amy. I'd be really curious to hear your thoughts on, because it's Kevin. Now Kevin admits, so it came out in '97. It's extremely progressive for 1997. Now it is a lot more it would be a lot more misguided, and he's even acknowledged it. It's Chasing Amy is a movie about a guy who falls in love with a girl who's gay, and the girl ends up falling for him as well, but she's confused by it. Like
Gotcha.
the point isn't necessarily that he turns her, it's that they have this whole romantic relationship, and she flat out says, where she's like, I don't know why I like you. I've never liked a guy the way I like you.
Huh.
And it's not he doesn't force himself on her or do any of the other bullshit cliches that like James Bond did in that one fucking movie. It's really interesting. It's a really super progressive for 1997.
Right.
Like, considering the year it came out.
Huh.
Now, and Kevin Smith has even said where it's like, it's a, maybe his heart was in the right place, but like it's not. I think he's even said, like, someone would ask him, would you make Chasing Amy today? He's like, no, I would have a woman direct it, or something along those lines.
Nice.
He wouldn't be telling that kind of story anymore.
Yeah.
Then he did Dogma, which is a really fun, like, I think you might like Dogma actually too. Dogma is about there was a recent rule passed in the Catholic Church that anyone who walked through the gates of this one specific arch of a church in New Jersey, for some reason, as a way to like get more people to come to church, they created like Buddy Christ, which is that Christ where you see the guy going like, "Hey."
Oh, that's what
where
that's
that
from.
comes from.
That's funny.
And two fallen angels played by Ben Affleck and Matt Damon hear about this, and they want to get back into heaven. So they're like, well, if we walk through this arch, because the Catholic Church is supposed to be the rules that they apply to God as well. Like they involve God as well. Like if we do this, we can get back into heaven.
That's funny.
And that creates a whole set of issues though, because if they do that, then God's will is no longer infallible, and the whole universe implodes on itself. So God has to like stop, like they have to send someone to try to stop them, and it happens to be this woman who works at like an abortion clinic.
Oh wow.
It's a wild movie, really really fun story, and Matt Damon and Ben Affleck are fantastic in it.
Nice.
It's really good. So yeah, I'm not going to list all of them off, but he's done quite a bit, and the 4:30 movie is his most personal one in quite a while. Like I would say, like Kevin Smith's. I don't know how much I want to go into this. You want to do a whole like thing with it, so I'll try to not go too far. Kevin Smith's early career revolved a lot about him finding something that he was emotionally vulnerable about, and using his movie as a way to express it and kind of work through that anxiety, that depression, that bit of emotion. Drew saying Dogma is very good, and I'm an ardent atheist. It's funny, dude. Like, Kevin Smith got a lot of shit for that movie from Catholics. He actually, you can find video clips of him joining the protesters of his movie. And he's protesting his own movie
was that one. I did see that clip. Yeah. He's like, yeah, it's totally disgusting. It's terrible. The director's a piece of shit.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. And even as someone like myself who is like religious, I could poke fun at like religion's ridiculous. Like I'm not going to try to deny that. That's a different thing. But yeah, so his older movies very much touch on some personal part of himself. And as he kind of kept going on in the movie industry and his movies weren't quite being as successful as he wanted them to be, he started kind of changing a little bit, trying to find like, well, if you don't want me anymore, what do you want?
Ah.
So then that's when he started doing other. That's why he made like Zack and Miri Make a Porno, which I think he wanted to even call it something different. I forget what, but Seth Rogen, Elizabeth Banks. You can imagine
No.
this Catholic Church not. No,
They don't have a
did
sense
not.
of humor about anything.
No. There, so Zack and Miri, while there is like some like emotional heart to that movie, it's mostly just like I need to make it's Kevin Smith's version of a Judd Apatow movie, you know.
Oh, okay. It does
And it's not
seem like
bad.
it.
It very much is, and it's not bad. There's some really funny moments. It's really raunchy, but it's like it's still that. Then he's like, well, Zack and Miri flopped. I'm gonna try directing my first movie that I never wrote. So he did Cop Out, which I still have yet to see. It's with Bruce Willis and Tracy Morgan. And I'll go into all. He has a whole bunch of stories about that, and then that flopped. So he's like, "Fuck it, the movie industry is dead to me. Fuck all you people, I'm out of here." And he made a movie called Red State, and he released it himself. He took it on a tour around the country and made all the money back. It's a horror movie. It's a really solid horror movie, and it's based around the Westboro Baptist Church.
Oh.
Yeah.
Which is a real life horror movie.
Yep. Dude, if you want to see the whole movie is about him kind of picking apart the Westboro Baptist Church sort of, and it's really intense. Yeah, Drew, it was it was so good. And people don't give him credit for it just because it was when he made it, he purposely burned all the bridges with like critics. He's like, fuck all you people, like you don't give a shit about what I do anymore anyway, so I'm just gonna say what I really think. And the movie still got pretty decent reviews considering he's basically told all the people to go fuck themselves. And then he kind of went silent for a little while. Then he went silent for like 3 years or so. He was out of the movie industry. He's like, I'm not directing anymore, blah, blah, blah. And then he made Tusk in 2014.
Right, that weird one with Justin Long.
Justin Long getting turned into a walrus.
Yeah.
And then he made a bunch of movies that were kind of just like, well, I don't have to, it doesn't have to be personal. I could just make shit that I want to see.
Yeah.
Like, what's a weird, fucked up thing that I want to see? I want to see a dude get turned into a walrus. That was Tusk. And then he made Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, which was decent. Clerks 3 has an emotional gut punch like crazy.
Wow.
And the movie he did before that was Kilroy Was Here, which I have never seen. It's an American comedy horror movie. I don't know why I said American. I'm reading off of Wikipedia. Sorry. It's a comedy horror anthology film directed by Kevin Smith. And I've never seen it because he decided to release it as an NFT.
No.
And I'm pretty sure it just like I have no idea where you can find it. I have no idea where you can watch it.
Yeah.
And he got sucked into the world of NFTs. He had his own NFT like smoking tokens and shit like that, like really laying into the weed thing.
That's actually that's really good branding, actually. Like, I really like the name of it.
He's good at branding.
Yeah.
It
sucks that he got sucked into that, though.
Well, then once he did that, that's when I was like, you know what? I'm done with Kevin for a little while because I was so mad that he decided, like, I would have watched Kilroy Was Here. I'm not a horror fan, but I like Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
I'm definitely showing my ignorance here, but what is an NFT? Oh, I am so glad.
Love of my life. Hello.
So an NFT it's a what acronym, I guess.
Non-fungible token.
A non-fungible token. Long story, in essence, it's a way there was someone's solution to create quote unquote ownership on the internet where you could own a digital asset and it would be tied back to you. So when something is fungible, it means that someone can edit it, modify it, alter it, all this other shit.
Yes,
So
it's bullshit. It's a con.
absolutely true. NFTs are bullshit. It's a con. It's awful. And there was a lot of art theft with it. But anyway, so the idea is that someone could then create like a picture, right? And then you would register your picture on this registry, like an online registry. They call it a blockchain, but for all intents and purposes, it's a registry. And you would assign like a specific token or value or like ID number to whatever you create an NFT as, and there could only be quote unquote one of it or however many you decide to mint. Like if you mint a coin, if you make your own custom coin and you make 5 of them, you've minted 5 coins. Same principle, but done
Digitally, yeah.
makes no fucking sense.
So
'cause you can just
therefore, it removes
see
the
the
purpose.
art. And well, that's the thing. Like all the things that they were like selling, it was literally just selling FOMO, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like you would, if you went to an NFT marketplace, you would see the image of the thing you are buying, whether it's a movie, whether it's a picture, whatever digital asset it may be. You see what you are buying, and then you pay for it usually with crypto or whatever the fuck, and then it gets registered to your account and you own that digital asset. So even though other people can like copy and paste the picture, you still own that digital asset.
You get a digital piece of paper that says, "I am a very special boy, and I am the only one who has this."
And if you're confused at all, which I don't know if you are, Andrew, you might be able to see her and see her face. I don't know.
She's in the next room.
If you're confused, it is confusing. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Like the way I was trying to describe it to my parents, like all of us can like
Whoa.
the reason why NFTs don't work on principle is can we like Andrew, you and I, we could any one of us, we can Google a picture of the Mona Lisa, right?
Yeah.
But we can't physically see the Mona Lisa in person unless we go to the Louvre in Paris or wherever the fuck it's
Right.
actually at. Or if you owned it, right? I could take a picture of a beautiful painting that I own and post it on the internet. Everyone can see that picture of that painting, but they don't get to hang that one picture in their wall. They would have to print out their own version of it or yeah. I'm a little confused. That's fair.
I don't understand. I've heard it explained several times, and I still am like, I don't. What is any of this? Especially when you get into the crypto aspect of it.
I guess think of it this way: if you are an artist and you draw the most beautiful drawing you've ever, let's say it's a picture of a stick figure riding a stick horse, right? Beautiful stick figure, whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be that. I'm just making a joke. Whatever, it's a picture of a horse that you drew, and you drew 5 exact replicas of that same horse. You have now quote unquote minted 5 different versions of that picture, right? Now you own that, and you own those 5 different versions of that picture, and then you can obviously, if you wanted to sell one of those 5 pictures that you painted, you can sell that and earn money off of it. NFTs are like, what if you do all that, but it's all digital? Like you are just digitally saying, I created 5 of these things and I own these 5 things.
Yeah.
Which is hard to understand in a digital space, because as you know, what do you mean I own it? I can just copy and paste like
right. It's just a JPEG. I'm right clicking this and saving as, and it's
exactly
the same thing.
So the big difference when you have physical art versus an NFT is that if I take a picture of someone else's physical art, I don't get to hold that piece of physical art in front of me.
Right.
I don't get to see the texture of the paint on the canvas. I don't get to see what the lines and the brush strokes and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So my experience is inherently different. I can look at a picture of the Mona Lisa, but I don't get to have the same experience as the person who owns it and can look at it every single day.
Yeah, yeah.
And even if someone makes a copy of the Mona Lisa, it still isn't the same because it's like either printed on a sheet of paper or whatever. But with an NFT, the end user experience is the same fucking experience for every single person. We're all looking at the same picture.
Right.
Same picture. I can go to Jay and Silent Bob NFT and or whatever the website is. I'm actually curious. Is it still up? Yeah, Jay and Silent Bob's Crypto Studio is still up, and you can't buy them anymore. But I can literally go. Yeah, I'm just looking at this. Yeah, they don't. There's not even like a link to it anymore. It goes to Chris Jericho ones. You can't even find the smoking tokens anymore.
Wow. Oh, what does that tell you?
Well, and the other half of it. Drew used to be an NFT photographer. I used to be a photographer, so I heard about NFTs way back. I was like, "How's that different than selling a photo?" The answer is, it's not. It's just screwing people. Absolutely, because if you sell a digital asset online, the only difference between selling it as an NFT and just a JPEG is just FOMO. You're just people. It's now fancier because it's given legitimacy and somehow like. Perceived value, I guess. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
But it's also like the ones that were it blew up in popularity, so people were making these randomly AI, and then AI came into the picture, and it was like, so people were making randomly generated AI bullshit pictures and being like, and releasing like millions of these different, like the apes one. There was this one that was like a bunch of different monkeys that had like, this one's got a red hat, this one's got a monocle,
the whatever apes, I forgot what. Yeah.
And it's like just a million of them. Shower lurk. What's up, Parallax? I don't know what that means. Are you watching in the shower?
He's taking a shower and he's listening while in the shower.
Nice. Yeah. So like the apes thing happened, and it was like there's 800 million of these stupid ape pictures, but you can be sure to own one, and then people would like resell them for like stupid amounts of money, and I don't know. People were gullible enough to buy them. I don't know.
The whole thing is that there's still NFT bros out there who still think like they can make money off of this. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like there has to be some type of inherent value to these things. Like they have to provide the main issue with NFTs and blockchain technology. One, it's the biggest issue is that it's an environmental fuck all. It is awful for the environment. Crypto and NFTs have erased a lot of the gains we've made on making the environment better because they're such a huge energy sink. It's insane.
Yeah, that's part of why there was such a GPU shortage. Like there was a chip shortage for a while. I remember like I was trying to build the computer that I'm currently streaming on, and I couldn't get a graphics card for the longest time because they were so inflated in price because people were using them to mine crypto.
And what's even weirder about it, when you think about how like mining crypto and like mining like NFTs and shit are, like it's all false scarcity. It is a blockchain literally saying like, hey, make a coin available every whatever, whatever time interval. They're choosing the interval to release this stuff into the public.
Yeah.
And like I don't like crypto, but at least I can understand that like the purpose of crypto makes more sense to me than the purpose of NFTs. The whole idea of having a deregulated market where the Fed can't fucking, like come in and do shit to it, like it's completely unregulated. That at least I disagree with, especially on the environmental angle, and it's kind of like a different version of the stock market that's less regulated, so good and bad. But it's like I can at least understand that. I don't think it's worth my time, but I can at least understand that. NFTs just serve no fucking purpose.
Yeah.
Drew, NFTs are a cross between pretentious art douchebags and crypto. Exactly.
So true.
Exactly.
So
true. So Drew.
So Drew. The Druth is out. So what you're saying is the movie was good.
Yeah. Dude, tangents galore on this,
I know.
On this week's Talk Tuesday. Yeah, so to the 4:30 movie, in regards, it was really good. It was really cute. It was kind of a return to form for Kevin Smith in the sense that like Clerks 3 was great, but it was almost the ending of it was so emotionally brutal that it just like you don't expect that from his movies. This was a lot more of a fun, lighthearted flick. It very much is like it takes place in the 80s. It feels like a who's the dude who directed Breakfast Club? Why am I blanking on his name?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
John Hughes. 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, Pretty in Pink. John Hughes, I want to say, is the director of those.
I have seen 16 Candles.
Very much a send up of that, and it's kind of semi autobiographical. I mean, I didn't even like they say it in the Wikipedia, but that's also like if you listen to Kevin's podcast, a lot of the events that you see in the movie that you see the shades of in his real life stories. Like he talks about on the podcast, he has a conversation with his sister where he talks about wanting to be a film director, and she's like, well, just be a director then. He's like, yeah, wouldn't that be awesome? And she's like, no, just be a director. Like, you're a film director right now, you just haven't made your first film yet. Like, start thinking of yourself as this, you just haven't done it yet, and then that helps you self-actualize, type of thing.
Yeah.
And that really resonated with him, and that finds its way into the movie. So my only like gripes with it is the emotional part at the end where like the inevitable falling out of the characters and like the drama comes in, felt a little bit rushed to me. It definitely needed to be there where it was at, and the message was good, but the dialogue felt a little forced, and it kind of felt like, oh shit, we're at this part already.
So would it have been better if it had been a 2-hour movie instead of an hour and a half long movie?
No, I think
okay.
I think it's just the choice of dialogue. It felt a little bit rushed. It felt a little bit like it felt a little bit too much like I'm writing a drama scene, you know.
Gotcha. Like they're just trying to get through every scene.
Yeah, the rest of the movie didn't feel like that. It was just that one scene that felt very much like I'm going to be a writer now. And Kevin Smith is a better writer than I'll ever be, so I'm not trying to like shit all over his writing. It's just in that one moment, it just felt a little bit too forced for me, at least.
Gotcha.
So there was that, and this isn't the movie's fault or Kevin Smith's fault. It's my own fault. A lot of the stuff that is said in the movie, like in terms of like points of view and like emotional core and like the messages and like even some of the jokes, I've heard a lot of that on his podcasts. So when I heard it on here, I'm like, oh, that's fun.
Gotcha.
But I've heard it all the times before. That's not. I don't take marks off the movie for that, because unless you're a fucking freak like me and listen to like hours and hours and hours of Kevin Smith podcasts.
Yeah.
You're not going to really hear all that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So, so other than that, those are my two only real gripes with the movie, but the acting was fantastic. The two leads, Austin Zajor, I don't know how you pronounce his name, and Sienna Agudong, I don't know how you pronounce her name as well. Agudong. How would you pronounce that?
Aguedong?
No, Agudong.
I guess Agathong. I don't know.
Agathong?
It sounds like Tagalog. It sounds. Are they?
She was born in Hawaii. She was born in Kauai in Hawaii.
It sounds. She was very kawaii in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Is she Filipino?
I don't know.
Oh, okay. Well,
she's American. She was born in Hawaii.
She's American. Well, yeah, but like her ethnicity.
Yeah, she's plays a young Mia Toretto in Fast 9. Fuck yeah.
Oh,
man.
sick. Okay, right.
And she's in the new Resident Evil movie, a TV show.
Oh, I heard the only good thing about that is Lance Reddick. Rest his soul.
I didn't watch it. Let's see, what else has she been in? That's all TV. Wait, they don't even have the movie on here. Fuck you. But she's fantastic in it. So is Austin as the lead, who his character's name is Brian David, and his friends are fun. They are goofy. It's very 80s in terms of both some of the language they use and like do they actually? I don't think he uses like any language. Like, back in the 80s, like the F word, the other F word
Yeah, yeah,
was
yeah.
more acceptable. I don't think he uses that at all. So he didn't go too far into it. Ken Jeong is in it.
Nice. Dr. Ken Jeong.
Oh, dude, he is chewing the scenery, and it's
I bet.
wonderful. He plays the owner of the movie theater that they're trying to go to, because the whole premise is that, I should probably say what at least the premise is. The whole premise is that Brian David Austin Zajor finally calls up his crush, Melody Barnegat, to ask her out to the movies, and they're going to go see the 4:30 movie. And he is going to spend the entire day at the movie theaters with his friends movie hopping, and they're going to go into get into this R-rated movie. They're going to sneak into the R-rated movie that he's taking Melody to. And
Are they sneaking into a Kevin Smith movie?
pretty much, and that's pretty much the premise of the movie. And shit goes crazy. Crazy stuff happens, and Ken Jeong is the power tripping manager of the movie theater. He literally drives a movie mobile, which is just like it looks like the old Batmobile from the 60s TV show. But instead of all like Batman shit on it, it's like there's a projector as the hood ornament.
What?
There's like reels, like film reels, empty, but just the metal reel part like mounted to the side of the doors and shit like that. It is so stupid and goofy as hell, but it
Nice.
was really wonderful.
Nice.
And they have a bunch of fake like movie trailers in it, which is really fun.
Oh, I love that.
Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, of course he would name his daughter Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
They are she's in a trailer for like she plays a nun who witnesses like a crime and decides to get involved in like crime fighting, so she becomes a prostitute in the evenings and a nun during the days, a sex worker in the evenings and a nun during the day.
Nice.
And it's insane. It's absolutely insane.
So she gets on her knees at all hours of the day.
Pretty much. It made me a little uncomfortable because Jason Mewes plays the John in the one scene.
Oh no.
And so that's Kevin Smith's best friend having a scene where they don't actually do anything. He says like a really crass line where it's like,
Thanks,
like,
Drew.
I forget what the line. He says a crass line, basically on the effects of like "suck it" or something like that.
Yeah.
And then she breaks out a knife and stabs him.
Nice.
And so like, there's never anything that could be even close to like intimating they actually had sex or like anything like that. And thank God, even if it's just acting, I can't imagine like that's too fucking weird that Kevin Smith's daughter and his best friend growing up would do anything like that. So they don't do anything like that. It's just funny that it's Jason Mewes of all people.
I know.
I will give Kevin credit as well. He really held back on the cameos. Like a lot of times he like there's a lot of cameos, I should say. Diedrich Bader, who was in the Drew Carey show. He plays Oswald in the Drew Carey show. Is it Diedrich Bader? Yeah,
Not
Diedrich
familiar.
Bader. He's in it. Rachel Dratch is the main character's mom. Kate Micucci is Melody's mom.
Are you making these names up?
No. Jason Lee is Brian's dad, or the main character's dad.
It's like I'd never heard of any of these people. Okay, Justin Long. That one I know.
Rachel Dratch you'd probably recognize. She's a character actress who does a lot of comedy roles. I'll send you like.
Is a prolific voice
Dratch
actor.
is spelled Dratch.
Okay. What has he voiced, Drew? Maybe I do know those people. I'm just hearing them. I'm hearing their names in my head. So he's Batman in one of the Batman.
I think he was
cartoons.
Batman in The Brave and the Bold.
Oh, okay. I heard that's good. All
I
the
think that's what it was.
DC animated stuff is incredible.
I'm gonna double check. And he was so I didn't realize they haven't said it in the show yet. I've been watching the Drew Carey show for the first time.
Huh.
It's been fun. I love like 90s shit.
Cleveland rocks.
His character's name is Oswald, and I'm looking at the full name, Oswald Lee Harvey.
No way.
That's
I thought you were
pretty
going to
funny.
say Oswald Cobblepot because everything ties to Batman.
But yeah, no, I think he was in Batman: The Brave and the Bold, if I'm remembering correctly. So
Nice.
I'm gonna have to double check on that. I guess Drew is saying yes, so I'm gonna trust that I'm right with that. I can't find it anymore.
Nice. Well, this just fired me up even more to have a whole episode, whole experience share where you can just go nuts and talk about Kevin Smith and make me excited to watch them, because that made me excited to watch his movies, even though there are 17 of them and I thought there was way fewer. So,
I think it. Yes, he was also in Office Space. I forgot he was the
oh,
neighbor of
oh,
John Livingston,
okay.
dude with the mullet.
What would you do if you had $1,000,000? Two girls at once. That guy?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's yeah. Yeah, dude, I would love to have you watch like there is language in his older films that would not be acceptable today, and he
Yeah.
would not do that anymore. So he has changed, but yeah, I love Kevin Smith movies, and I'll continue when we do our full thing. I'll give you more of a emotional reason as to why his stuff has clicked with me so much.
Yeah. Two chicks at the same time, man.
Dietrich Bader's really fucking funny.
Okay, I know who he is now. Office Space is hilarious.
So what did you do though? I've been gushing and going on tangents and rants about racists. Not that Kevin Smith is a racist. Other shit.
Funny you should say that.
Oh Jesus.
Um,
oh jeez.
So, well, I'll get to that, but I know you got to stream, but
I took up most of the time, so feel free to take your time.
okay. Well, I'm trying not to take up too much time, but I do have something of a list. 3 of them in a row. Wow. No, 4 of them in a row have to do with anniversaries. So, from ascending order, the last thing that I will say, I know we've been nonstop talking about the 25th anniversary of the Dreamcast. Limited Run Games has a pre-order right now for a whole Dreamcast line of merch.
Yep,
that
I
is,
saw that.
yeah, that looks super rad. You know, hoodies and shirts. I want the shirt. They have little VMU keychains, like coins, collectible cards, all this stuff. I put in my notes on my phone to remind myself to pre-order the shirt before, I think the October. I don't know the day, maybe 13th. Mid-October is when the pre-orders close. So get your orders in if you want them. You're welcome, Limited Run Games. Give me a cut. So I was writing in my phone. I was falling asleep at the time. I saw this like really late at night. I think I was streaming or something until like 2 a.m. and I was late at night and I was falling asleep and I was writing in my phone to pre-order the shirt for the 25th anniversary. And what I typed was pre-order shut LLLLL with a little accent over it PL. So I woke up to that and I was like, what the hell was I trying to say? And I forgot about it for the entire day until I got another email about it and I was like, oh, pre-order shirt. So I was literally falling asleep while typing and I typed pre-order shut LLLLLLPL. There's nothing, like, there's no conversation to be had about that. It's just funny. So we go from 25th anniversary to 30th anniversary. Last week was the 30th anniversary of Reboot. I hope Parallax Puddles is still in the chat because holy crap.
Hopefully he didn't get too excited in the shower there if he's still listening.
I know. I can see him like, oh, they're talking about Reboot! Slips and falls and knocks his head open. Oh, God, I've done that once. I fell asleep in the shower. I might be narcoleptic, according to all my stories about falling asleep. I was like 13. I was leaning against the shower. I was very tired, and I fell asleep, and then I slid backwards, and I fell, and I, like, sliced my whole back on the spigot. And then I just woke up.
You can tell we're from PA because we use the term spigot.
Yeah, the faucet. And I just woke up in very much pain, and there was bloody water, and I was like, what is happening? Anyway, unrelated.
Bloody Water was my high school band's name.
Nice. It's not a bad one. I watched the first episode of Reboot for the 30th anniversary. They are doing a full frame by frame remake or remaster rather of that series because they had found some previously unreleased like master tapes of the original show, which is cool. So they're putting it out in I don't know if it's 1080 or 4K, but they remastered it on the official Mainframe channel. We were talking Beast Wars and Reboot and Barbie Princess and the Pauper, which is an excellent movie and one of the love of my life's favorite movies. So we watched that last week, and then we watched the first episode of Reboot. I remember Reboot being on TV. It would be around. I usually would watch it if it was before Beast Wars. So I have some memories of it. I remember liking it enough, but it just wasn't Beast Wars. It's very much in the same wheelhouse as Beast Wars. They even reused some of the same music, which was doing weird stuff to my brain because I was watching something that was essentially new for the first time, hearing Beast Wars music that I've heard nonstop for 30 years. And I'm like, what is happening? But it was good. I wanna continue. I probably won't wait for them to remaster all of the episodes because there's already like 4K remasters out on YouTube. But it was cool. It was alphanumeric. I don't know.
Are they releasing the whole show for free on YouTube?
I think that's the plan. I mean, the first episode they just put out on YouTube. I may be wrong. They may bait and switch you and be like, now buy the 4K Blu-ray, which I probably would to support them because that would mean that we might get a official 4K Beast Wars in the future, which we also finished. I was showing Polisa that for the past like year or so. It's 3 seasons.
But not Bluey.
And not Bluey. No, I will watch it eventually. But you're asking me to not watch my favorite TV show of all time.
I'm also asking you to not watch something you've already seen before.
It's okay. Fair point. However, I may need to reiterate it's my favorite TV show of all time.
It's fair.
I definitely will get to Bluey, although I do like the running bit that's going on that I will just never watch it. I'll tell you what, as soon as I have a kid, I'll watch Bluey. No, because I really will never watch it. But no, Beast Wars is great. Reboot is cool. I want to watch more of it. Speaking of Beast Wars, today is the 40th anniversary of Transformers. The first episode of the original G1 Transformers aired today, 40 years ago. And Polisa and I also watched the first episode of the G1 cartoon, which is fine. I've watched maybe the first 2 seasons of it, and I hate to say it, I'm ready to have like the sniper dot on my head. G1 Transformers, kind of overrated. It's kind of boring.
I mean, a lot of those old 80s cartoons, if you go back and watch them now, they're not great.
Yeah.
It's you had to be at the right place at the right time, and it's the same thing if you go back and you look at some of the old Nick cartoons. Like, I'm sure they hold up for some people. Kids younger than us probably look at it like, this is ridiculous. Why did you ever like this?
Yeah.
Though I will at least say some of them did have a little bit. Like, I think Hey Arnold is one of the best.
Oh yeah.
I think Hey Arnold holds up surprisingly well, even though it's not like necessarily like laugh out loud funny or zany. It's so much more chill than you would expect.
It has so much heart.
Yeah,
it has a lot to say.
In that show.
Dude,
I still remember the Pigeon Man episode to this day.
Oh, the Pigeon Man.
Also, the Christmas episode with Mr. Wynn's daughter.
Yeah. Oh, Mr. Wynn. I like the one where he tries to get the sociopathic ice cream man to not be a sociopath anymore. And then, of course, there's the legendary Stoop Kid's gonna leave the stoop.
Did you see that Nick created like a couple years ago? They made a music video and they did a whole song for Stoop Kid.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh my God! Hold the phone.
While you are doing that, Drew, you are right. 80s cartoons were long commercials for toys. Absolutely. Which is why I keep going back to Beast Wars being the premiere, for me anyway, the premiere Transformers experience. I know that doesn't have, it's not the G1 characters or anything, but the writing in that show is impeccable, and you barely even like when they introduce new characters, it means something. When they decommission or kill off a character, it means something. And they don't just like introduce a new character for 5 minutes just for him to like fuck off into the ether to buy a toy to be like another Mom, I want the red car transformer. Okay, which one is that? Is that Cliff Jumper? Is that Sideswipe? Is like they were all basically the same. I forget what I was going to say. Oh, but due to the technical limitations of it being CGI, they had to do more with less. So they actually gave like incredible character arcs to the characters in Beast Wars. I feel like I talk about this show a lot.
Oh, you love it. You shouldn't feel bad about that. I just spent 40 minutes gushing about Kevin Smith.
Fair.
I did send in our Discord chat for the call a link to the YouTube video. I don't know. I feel like when you're done talking, you should. I don't know if there's a way for you to put the video up on the stream, but I think it's totally worth ending our Talk Tuesday with the video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can do that.
It is goofy as hell, and it's wonderful.
Nice. Yeah, well, I'll do that at the end here. Now for some bad news. So we talked about anniversaries. 25 Dreamcast, 30th for Reboot, 40th for Transformers. This week, I watched the greatest action comedy Western movie that I have ever seen. Do you know what it was? Action comedy Western.
Wild West.
No.
Shanghai Nights.
No, but great.
Blazing Saddles.
I did watch Blazing Saddles. However, I hated it. The greatest comedy action Western that I watched this week was Rango. I showed that to Polisa, and it was incredible, and we both loved it. Highly recommend. Highly unrecommend Blazing Saddles. I know. It made me mad. It really made me mad.
Okay.
So
is it cause of the language? Is it cause of the themes? Like what did not click with you?
So yes, and we've talked about yes, all of the above. We have talked about before things being of their time and things that you can forgive, things that are like, it's not great, but that's kind of how it was. I have a lot of favorite movies that are like that, where all of a sudden, an F slur will come out of nowhere, or somebody will call somebody an R slur, and it's like, ooh, whoa, okay, well,
yeah,
it was a different time. I felt like, and this is admittedly a bit of a hot take, and maybe I'm just being very reactive, I felt like all of the racist stuff in Blazing Saddles, it's a parody movie, obviously, just like Spaceballs, just like, I felt like all of the racist humor, while yes, they were like, haha, look how dumb these people are because they're stupid and racist, it felt like it was like, what was the joke? Like, is the joke like, look how bad it was back then, it's not like this now? Because take one step into a YouTube comment section and you'll see that people have not really changed. And that also, within the microcosm of me going to see it at the theaters, I think also removed some of the enjoyment, a lot of the enjoyment for me, because I was just with a bunch of old white people, and anytime a character would drop an N-word, they would start laughing their asses off. And it was like,
yeah,
why do you find it funny when someone says the N-word? Why do you find it funny when somebody is blatantly racist towards a black character? Like,
that definitely, I think, probably made your experience worse. I'm not saying you would have liked it still, but I definitely think it hurt it a lot.
Yeah, and I still am like, what really was the point? Like, I didn't know what it wanted to say, and I was just like, so it was just a bunch of racism, and it's like, yeah, he has to, the Cleavon Little, the black sheriff has to overcome this racist town, and it's not really. It's not like he does, I guess, but they're still racist at the end, though, and it's like, ha ha ha.
The point of it is to show that when the worst parts of the racism come out, it is when it is always the most ridiculous. So when they do the whole like gosh dang, we nearly lost a $40 hand cart.
Yeah.
That joke is supposed to be like it's really supposed to drive home how fucked up, like it's like, it's like saying the quiet part out loud. Like that's the joke of it, is like that's just how bad these people are. It I don't know, it's people who say like I'm having a hard time explaining it. I will say, at least for a lot of the dialogue, I'd have to double check on this, but from everything I've read, all the white actors' dialogue was written by Richard Pryor. So that's why there's a lot more specific words in their dialogue, because he wrote them to be so over the top. Mel Brooks then wrote all the black people, all like Cleavon Little's dialogue for the most part, and like they did a lot of collaboration. So Richard Pryor worked with Mel Brooks on the movie. The way I just kind of figured it, the point to me was, every time there was such an overt racist moment, it was done in such an absurd way that to me it almost defined it. Like, how could your logic be this fucked up?
Yeah.
That like that's with the hand cart, with like even like the villain, like Hedy Lamar.
Yeah.
Hadley. Everyone who's in power is an idiot. The only one who isn't is Hedley Lamar, and he's just pure evil. And they show it even more so with the, having to recruit all the bad guys, and it's just a cavalcade of like the worst people in human history.
Yeah. The Nazis and the Klan and
oh boys,
where the white women at? Like that part was funny.
I think the fact that you were surrounded by a bunch of people who didn't understand the point of it, like, to me, like, if they're laughing just because the N-word is being said, then they're missing the entire point of the movie.
Yeah.
That's not, like, to me, that's not, like, the N-word isn't the joke of it. The joke is they'll say all that shit, and then they'll do something ridiculous like, gosh, we almost lost a $40 hand cart, even though there's a human being in the sand pit.
Yeah.
In the quicksand. Like, even the way the governor, portrayed by Mel Brooks, is portrayed, how he is more interested in his secretary's chest than he is with actually doing anything like with governing. Even some of the stuff where it's like, one of my favorite jokes of the whole movie is where they almost say the N-word, but the joke of it, like, he brings in Cleavon Little and he's like,
can't you see?
Don't see that man as a neh? And then he goes, sorry, wrong guy. And then he brings over Hedy Lamar, and he goes, Hedley Lamar. He's like, can't you see that man as a neh? And he just he doesn't say the word. He just sticks with that neh thing, and it's just, it subverts your expectations. And then also like the it's much later in the movie, the toll road. It's like, someone's got to go back and get a shitload of dimes.
Oh yeah, that was funny. I think I'm gonna say
I still don't think you would have enjoyed it, hearing your criticisms of it, but it does kind of bum me out that you were surrounded by so many people who clearly were laughing for the wrong reasons.
Yeah, I think it was like I would have, and like I said before, I think it may have been funny, or if I, like, the joke being like, they are so stupid, and look how people were back then in the South, those stupid rednecks. I have experienced people like that still to this day. So it's almost like you can't really say, oh, well, we've come so far since then, it's not like that anymore, because it is.
The two things can be true, though. We have come very far since then, but the other half of that truth is we haven't gone far enough. Like, like, because those things still exist. Like,
Yeah. When I was telling police about this when I came back, I was like, so there's the scene, very minor spoiler, but at the end when they run off of the, it's a movie set, and it's like, they go into the real world or whatever, the modern day, and they're going to the movie theater, and then they watch the movie, and it's the Spaceballs we're watching now joke. And I was like, you could maybe, and I don't know Mel Brooks's intentions, but I was like, is he trying to say like, oh, it's not actually that far removed because it actually is taking place in real life or modern time? But I didn't get the feel of that. I just felt like he liked the shock value of having blatant racism and, the language, while written by Richard Pryor. That makes me feel a little bit better about it, but it's still all delivered by white people. So I don't know. It just made me really uncomfortable.
In a weird sense, like you have to have those lines delivered by white people in a weird way.
Well, sure.
Like, I'm not saying it has to be that overtly. I'm not saying like I'm not defending the language used or the amount or anything like that. But like, there was that one. Who was that one joke? I think it was. Fuck, who was the comedian? He had a really good joke where he's like, who some of our greatest it was a black comedian. One of his jokes was like, some of the most underrated white allies, white actors who play racists in movies, who have to show the worst parts of white people
like
all
Leo,
the time.
Leo and Django Unchained.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. That bums me out. I'm semi not surprised, not because of you, but just like that movie it's polarizing. I think for the time it came out, and what's crazy is like as much a bunch of the fucking boomers who probably are laughing at the N-word and laughing at all the wrong times, their favorite line is like, you couldn't make Blazing Saddles today. I'm like, you absolutely could. You would just do it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Like maybe like specifically they would get rid of the F words. They wouldn't use that anymore. Sure. And like the jokes are like, you can get away with biting satirization. It's just you have to do it in the right way. And for the 70s, no one had seen anything like that at that time. You know, like there wasn't a movie making fun of racism that blatantly. Like that's like Mel Brooks that's how he kind of does satire. Like even look, the producers, the whole point of the producers is making a musical that flops, and the musical is Springtime for Hitler.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to defang everything with the Nazis, even though what the Nazis did was horrific. What's the purpose of Blazing Saddles? It's to defang the racists. The people who are doing the most heinous shit are the ones who are the most incompetent, but they're the ones in power too. And so they constantly show that just because they're in power doesn't mean they're competent or they have any right to be in power. They just racism got him there.
Yeah. I think maybe if there was some consequences to that, I would have felt better. And to be fair, like my criticisms of this movie like are that, but also I the parts that weren't racially charged, I felt like the jokes also just didn't land. Like there was a lot of jokes where I was like, that was really dumb. And I like dumb humor. Like I love Spaceballs, but half of it didn't land just because I was like, okay, well that was dumb. And then half of it was like the racial stuff, which I was like, I don't know, this feels really weird.
You don't feel like the racial jokes were earned, I would guess.
Yeah, and if it's if you're trying to say something, what is there's no consequence to these people being racist. Like there's no.
I mean, the one dude gets a shovel to the back of his head. The Hedley Lamar literally gets like run out of town. The governor is not even. You don't really see what happens to him anymore. Everyone who is part of the posse literally gets like punched through multiple sets through a fourth wall. Like there's consequences. It just might be like it just might not have like a big narrative like impact to it, like people like generally the consequences like making them appear as more dumb than they like. The consequence of what they do is like they're constantly being shown as just idiots and morons, and if
morons
yeah,
the clay of the earth,
that line,
morons,
by the way, improvised by Gene Wilder.
Love it. That's why he actually laughs there. That's why Cleavon Little he laughs at him saying that.
And like I almost feel like maybe that line is the entire purpose of the movie, where he comes in and everybody's like, what did you expect? Like these people are morons, like they're not going to just accept it. And like that's kind of like, it almost feels like, I mean, I'd have to, you know what, I'm going to shout out a buddy's podcast, Nostalgium Arcanum. Like instead of nostalgia, instead of the A at the end, just put a Nostalgium, and then Arcanum. He did an episode on Blazing Saddles where he brought, his guest was a friend of his that's black. He can articulate better than any way I possibly could, because I can't speak from a black experience, right? I'm not going to pretend like, oh, it was so good because of this, that. I like the movie, and I do genuinely think it created worthwhile conversations like this. And others, but like, did it actually have the impact that Mel Brooks kind of desired it to? I don't know. You know,
Yeah.
at one hand I would say yes. On the other hand, you were in a theater surrounded by people who were not realizing that they're the people being laughed at.
Right.
Because one of the issues with satire, and I've heard this criticism of it before, but I don't think, I think some people take the criticism too far, and it's not even just with Blazing Saddles, it's with satire in general, is that when you, it's kind of like what the Colbert Report was for a little while, when the people that you're making fun of don't realize that you're making fun of them,
Yeah.
and they're
Or
just
like The
laughing
Boys.
along. Yeah, like The Boys, and they're laughing along at it, thinking like, huh, like in Blazing Saddles, the purpose is like, look how stupid that person is for being so racist. Like, yeah, they're saying all this heinous shit, but look how stupid they are, because the one dude cares more about the handcart. They also, I know I keep referencing that, they treat Mongo like a complete piece of shit. They are literally beating elderly women at one point.
Yeah.
Like, they're awful human beings, and they're completely always defanged because they just say stupid lines. They someone go get a shitload of dimes. They don't realize they can just fucking walk around
Right.
the fake toll booth
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Like, that's the point of it. It's supposed to show, like, you see all these people that you see all around. This is what we think of them. This is what they really are at the core. They're fucking morons.
Yeah.
The dirt, the clay of the earth. They're morons.
You know, morons. I think maybe
But
if there was more to the jokes, because it seemed like a lot of times the joke just was a racist person being racist. Like, I think there is a way to do that a little bit more tactful, where it's like with clever writing, and rather just like,
See, I guess all the times when a racist person's being racist in it, I never consider that a joke. I consider the punchline after it is like, is the joke. Like, if someone like when the opening line of the movie, you know, where they're saying, when, how about a good old work song? I'm not,
Yeah.
you know what they say. That's not the joke to me. That's not what's funny. That line, I'm like, holy fuck! Like, did he really just say that? But then the next part after that is they start singing crooner music, and all the guys are like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
that's the joke. And then the punchline is when they sing the Camptown Ladies song at the very end as they go down the track, just to be like, fuck you.
sure.
Like, that's the punchline. The racism to me in this movie sets up the joke. But people don't, but unfortunately it seems like there's a lot of people who don't get that far. Their sense of humor is just like, haha, racial slur. And that's, why is that funny except if you're racist? You
Yeah,
know?
I think for that scene it works. But I found myself cringing at a lot of scenes where it wasn't a setup and a punchline. It just kind of was the punchline, and it was like,
Well,
yeah,
like,
you're reinforcing that they're racist, but
what was an example of that? Because I'm not trying to like poke a hole in your argument. I haven't seen it in a little bit, and I want to see where you're coming from.
yeah, I wish I could remember more specific lines, but there were multiple times where, and yeah, I saw it last week. I only saw it. I've only seen it once. So
that's fine.
But I just felt like there were moments where somebody would say something super racist, and that would be the scene. It wouldn't be to set up, like, yeah, the Camptown Ladies thing. Sure, that works for that scene. I think that was pulled off successfully. Successfully enough, anyway. But I felt like there was a lot of times where they would just say, haha, look at that N, and it would just be like, ah, haha, yeah, they're so racist. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's I am seeing it 50 years after it was made.
Yeah.
But I could not. I'm also where I am in my life. I am so disillusioned and so I fucking hate this country at this point. Like I'm not even gonna sugarcoat it anymore. You know that police and I are trying to leave the country. There's a lot of things that are fine about this country. There's a lot that I hate. And when I see these depictions of like blatant racism and then see people doing it unironically all over the internet and people are voting who think this way and it's putting people in power who perpetuate this horrible mindset still to this day, I think it was just hard for me to find it funny. Because it was just a little bit too real. If we were a utopian society, if we were the society that they promised us when we were kids, that with all the fruit at your arrow aesthetic and green everything, and the planet wasn't on fire, and we weren't dying, and there was no more racism, maybe it could be funny. But Drew's got to head into his stream.
Have a good night, Drew.
Yeah, you too, man.
Hopefully our conversation wasn't too heavy.
Yeah, thanks for hanging though. Yeah, so. It was a tough watch for me where I'm at right now.
That's totally fair. That's totally fair. And I do think, like, being honest too, you take out any of the problematic stuff in it. The first time I watched it, I was promised this hilarious movie, and I didn't really laugh a whole lot the first time I watched it.
That could have been another thing, is that I went in with such high expectations, and I was like,
there wasn't a lot. It didn't make me laugh all that much the first time I watch it.
Yeah.
It's as I get older and I watch it, I find the humor in it, like the specifically, like, you know, the someone go back and get a shitload of dimes. My favorite,
that joke's hilarious.
Two favorite jokes in the movie.
Thanks for the input, Drew.
You like Blazing Saddles? See it a lot of the same way Josh does. Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. 2 against what? No.
By that logic, I am wrong. Never mind. I have changed my mind.
By that logic, I'm the man now, and I down with the man. The 2 favorite jokes. One, someone's got to go back and get a shitload of dimes.
A shitload of dimes.
Oh my gosh, the delivery that is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
And then the whole story of Gene Wilder talking about how he got shot in the ass by a kid.
A little kid, yeah. That was funny.
Little bastard shot me in the ass.
I thought the way he was delivering that, I thought he was going to say he wheeled around and murdered a child.
No. And then he's like, take a look at this. And he holds his hand out. And Cleavon Little, steady as a rock. Yeah,
but I shoot with this hand. That was a great line. I love him.
There's a lot of good lines in it. There's a lot of good jokes. I like even some of the subtle stuff, like when they're in the town hall meeting and every single person in the town is named Johnson.
Yeah.
And you can see the board is just nothing but Johnsons.
I found that funny, like a third of the way through the joke, and then I felt like they kind of really beat that into the ground. Like they go on for 10 minutes about, yeah, so-and-so Johnson is right about Johnson being right, and I'm so-and-so Johnson. Yes, so-and-so Johnson is right about being right about Johnson.
See,
I was
that
like,
didn't bother me.
Okay.
I'm used to Family Guy, where they run a joke into the ground even worse than Blazing Saddles did.
Yeah.
But no, I think I understand your. Sorry, something just fell. I understand your point. I do think that maybe you're missing a little bit of the intention of the movie, but like that's how art is. Like I'm not going to try to tell you you're wrong for feeling the way you do just because I see a different intention in it than you do.
Yeah. And I could see like an interview with Mel Brooks and Richard Pryor, maybe that may help.
Well,
I just think
anymore. Richard Pryor's gone.
Well, I mean, not
like back in the day.
Not one that came out recently with his dead body. Like about how they made it or something like that. I mean, maybe that would help. But
there is a quote that Mel Brooks has been accredited to. I don't know if it's actually true or not, because it's it's always the people on YouTube reaction videos being like, "Well, you fucking Mel Brooks, oh, you couldn't make this today," and I'm like, "Yeah, they could." You just think that everyone's offended by everything,
right?
But what is it? Where I'm trying. Hold on, I'm trying to see if it's even in like a fun fact thing. like people were asked him like, what do you think about like making the movie? Could you make it today? He's like, we couldn't even make it back then. Like we were going, this was like a major thing.
Yeah.
Critical, let's see. Okay, this is interesting. Blazing Saddles is now considered a classic. Critical reaction was mixed upon release. Vincent Canby, who is a film critic, Blazing Saddles has no dominant personality, and it looks as if it includes every gag thought up in every story conference. Whether good, bad, or mild, nothing was thrown out. Woody Allen's comedy. This is before Woody Allen was known to be such a fucker, but well, I mean that's not the right term. A bad person.
Yeah.
Fucker is a gross term for considering what his problematic past. Anyway, Woody Allen's comedy, though very much a product of our age of analysis. Okay, I'm not even going to read the rest of this. Mr. Brooks. Oh, so he's saying like Woody Allen's comedy is like more highbrow. Mr. Brooks' sights are lower. His brashness is rare, but his use of anachronism and anarchy recalls not the great film comedies of the past. So this dude clearly did not like it.
Yeah.
I'd be very curious to see like what other things like people say about it. But yeah, he's been on record, supposedly being on record saying like he like they couldn't even really make it back then. Brooks described the writing process as chaotic. Blazing Saddles was more or less written in the middle of a drunken fist fight. There were 5 of us all yelling loudly for our ideas to be put in the movie. Not only was I the loudest, but luckily I also had the right as director to decide what was in or out. Bergman remembers. Who was Bergman? Bergman was... Is it Ingmar Bergman?
Bergman.
I'm not sure. Bergman remembers being just as chaotic, telling creative screenwriting. In the beginning, we had... Oh, he must have been one of the writers. In the beginning, we had 5 people. One guy left after a couple of weeks. It was basically me, Mel, Richie Pryor, and Norman Steinberg. Richie left after the first draft, and then Norman, Mel, and I wrote the next 3 or 4 drafts.
Oh, wow.
Oh, all right. So, yeah. I'm going to see what... Yeah, I'd have to look into more of it, but yeah, I can understand what you're saying with it. I still love the movie though. It's not even like a childhood favorite. I don't know. To me, the reason it works is because every person who is awful in it is just so comically stupid and comically over the top, and just like even the racist shit they do doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
Like it's so over the top. Anyway, I thank you for telling me what you thought though. I mean, I'm not even that bummed that you don't like it, but I'm more just kind of it was interesting to me to hear your thoughts on it.
And the last thing I'll say is like, just to reiterate, we don't experience things in a vacuum, and every piece of media hits you differently based on where you are in your life and what is going on in the world. And I think it was a whole cocktail of things that made me like leaving there kind of upset at like having watched it, and maybe that'll change. I don't know.
Maybe
I'm not lining up to watch it again soon, but
I also don't think you should watch it soon. Like I think one of the reasons, like you said, you weren't a fan of it was like there was just with the current climate that we live in here in the U.S. I'm not nearly as pessimistic about it as you are, but even so, that you're not wrong for feeling that way. You can't, your feelings are valid. So like in the current situation, you wouldn't even be able to look at it from a different perspective. I'm not saying the correct or proper. I'm just saying different. Like you would, if you watch it again just to see like, well, maybe I'll like it more not in a theater. We're still in the same like really complicated, stressful society world that we're living in currently. Like it's still happening. Like there's a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah,
so, like,
and I think that's.
It'd be smarter to go years later when you have more distance between whatever's happening now,
Yeah. And I think that's what separates it from something. Because I really thought about this. I was like, why do I like something like Jojo Rabbit. Are you familiar with that?
We talked about it last time, I think.
Okay, that's an excellent movie. It deals with a little Nazi boy whose imaginary friend is Hitler, played by Taika Waititi, which is hilarious. He's like, I'm half brown, half Jew, playing Hitler, and in that movie, all the Nazis and Hitler are played to this comical level in a similar way. That's just so over the top, and that's why it's funny. But I think, like, they also, and Tarantino does this too in Inglourious Basterds, but not to the same inflated point. But with Jojo Rabbit, like, in the movie, the Nazi characters get completely annihilated and murdered and blown up and, you know, destroyed because that's how the war happened. And also, not saying that there's not Nazis nowadays, but Nazi Germany fell out of power, and as an official, you know, in an official capacity, Nazis were disbanded and destroyed. So yes, there are still neo-Nazis out there today, but it's going back to the same point. There's still there are still people that are this racist, and they're running a large portion of our country.
Oh, and also, like, it hits a little bit closer to home for you because that is, like, it just hits close. I don't know. Like, I don't know. You know what? I think you know what I'm trying to say. Like,
and it does. You're right.
Yeah. It hits closer to home for you specifically, and that makes it feel a lot more real. So when I understand when you see something like this, it would hit differently. So I totally get that.
Yeah.
And that's why once again I was saying, like, as much as I find it funny, I can't, like, I'm not going to, like, that's why I recommended my buddy Doug's podcast, Nostalgia Marcanum, because he actually had a friend who was black on who loves the movie to talk about. Now, granted, that's still only one person's perspective.
Right.
They don't speak for the entire community, of course, but that's a very different, that's a much different perspective than me, you know?
Yeah. I'll take a listen to that. And I am curious to hear more
it was a
people's
good
thoughts. Not to change my mind, not with the goal of, like, I really want to like this because a lot of people like this, but I just, you know, if it may affect my experience of it.
It's in a less serious sense. It's the same reason why I go back and I try games that I've hated before, because I'm like, well, I want to, like, people love this. Why do people love this?
Yeah.
Why don't I like this? And mind you, I'm just talking about games. I'm not talking about something serious. Like the themes of Blazing Saddles are very serious,
right,
despite how comedic of a movie it is. So yeah. Anyway,
it's like I don't want to not like this. I wanted to like it.
It's totally. Hey man, you don't have to feel bad for not liking it. I do think the movie experience specifically definitely hurt it, just because it is a bunch of old white dudes laughing at the wrong things.
Yeah.
But with that said, I don't think that would have changed your opinion entirely. It just might not have been. You might have liked it, not liked it, but not liked it. You would have liked it. What? On a scale of not like, from 0 to 100, meaning 100 being you hated it with an intense passion, and 0 meaning you didn't hate it at all, it would take you from like a 60 down to a 40 or whatever metric you wanted to think of.
Yeah.
I was trying to find a way to use English to express it without the numbers, and I just couldn't fucking do it.
No, that's fair, because in my head I was thinking, like, I may have liked it 20% more. I don't know if that would have been enough to be like, I liked it, because overall, unfortunately, I didn't.
Yeah,
but,
yeah. Anyway, I do have to start my stream. It is almost 10 o'clock.
Yes. Everything else that I had, I can actually talk about next week because it's not time sensitive. I will say, just for the last thing, and maybe to end on a positive note. I know I threw
Stoop Kid. We got to end with Stoop Kid.
Oh, Stoop Kid. Yeah.
After this,
to close the loop on something positive. I know I threw the wrench in at the beginning, but if you've not seen Rango, it's genuinely my favorite Western movie. Do you know about it at all?
I've watched it before. It was okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm surprised.
I didn't hate it. To be clear, This is not me just being like, well, you didn't like Blazing Saddles. So fuck
No, I
Rango.
know. I wouldn't think
I
you would do
remember
that.
watching Rango and being like, it was fun. It just didn't like wow me. It was just like, this is just another animated movie.
Yeah, I think we were talking about that when we watched it. I think that and Surf's Up are two movies that came out at the worst possible time because they were both around a bunch of other CGI comedy talking animal movies. Surf's Up is one of my favorite comedies of all time. It is hilarious, and I quote it on a daily basis. So highly recommend Surf's Up. Highly recommend Rango. And unfortunately, it's 2 thumbs down for Blazing Saddles for me. Maybe 1.5, because there were some good lines. But with that, let me see if I can figure out how to pull up this song that you sent. Or is it a video? Bueller?
It is a video.
Okay. I think you put it in the Discord.
In our chat for Discord, just you and I.
Okay. You were gonna disappear for a quick second.
That's
You'll
okay.
still be in the call. Whoop. Goodbye. Let me pull it up, and I'll make a new screen for it. Oop. I will never leave my stoop. Official music video. Wait, so you said this is recent?
I mean, no, it's not that. I mean, it's more recent than Hey Arnold. It came out originally 8 years ago.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just going to full screen it.
Yeah, I don't need to be on screen.
And whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I'm hot wiring it as we speak from in OBS. Da-da-da-da-da. Not that. Not that. What the heck?
Oh wow, I'm full screen. Hello.
Wait, are you?
Yeah. Well, now I'm not. But I was full screen for a hot sec.
Where did that video go? You know what? I'm just gonna look it up on YouTube now that I know what it's called.
You can literally just Google "Stoop Kids song."
Yeah.
And it's "I Will Never Leave My Stoop" official music video.
It's live action.
Yes, it is, with a dude with a fake unibrow.
That's amazing. Stoop Kid's unibrow was legendary. All right. I believe this should work. There we go. All right, there's a YouTube video that is now on top of the on top of my OBS. So
That'll work.
let's watch I Will Never Leave My Stoop, the official music video premiere here on the Experience Point. No one's ever seen this before.
Not the couple 100,000.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll be able to hear it, but that's okay.
I think the audio's just coming right into my OBS.
You know, I can tell you, is it coming through? Yeah, but I can hear it through the stream, so
Okay.
we're good.
Oh my god. He really looks like him. Where do I poop? Stoop, kids are late and fleeting. Stoop.
It's so good. It's so weird because like I hear it through the delay of the stream. So like I hear your first reaction, and then I hear your reaction again.
Oh,
with the
weird.
video. Well, it's just because
Trippy.
it's not coming through my audio, but it's fine. I just everyone had to see this at the very least.
The utmost seriousness of this video is slightly uncomfortable. He's just traveling the world. Oh my god.
I love it so much, man.
He's on the moon.
It's really catchy too.
Wow. That's one of the greatest cosplays I've ever seen. The splat. Nice.
Right? Isn't that amazing?
That was wild. I don't know if I have the same passion as you, but I did like it.
I mean, I just think it's funny that they made it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm in shock. They're like, yeah, let's do that. Let's just do that. You know, like it's a one-off character.
Yeah,
Like,
how
people
many
like
years
to
later?
quote- I mean,
Like
this is
15 years
2015,
later.
so it's at least like over a decade.
Yeah, that's wild. I love that show.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, I
Well,
do have to start my stream.
Yep,
Though.
I will let you get to that. Are you still in Skyrim tonight?
Yes, sir.
Nice. Arrows and knees abound.
Yes, sir.
Are you just going through the story or?
Yeah, I'm exploring, playing. It's probably going to be a shorter stream tonight, but
Nice.
it's
Yeah,
all good.
we did go a bit long.
I went long, and then we talked about Blazing Saddles. It was important conversations.
Yeah, it
Important
was good.
conversation.
Well, we will have to set up a time to do the full. Now that he's got a new movie out, it feels more appropriate than ever to do a full
Do you want to
Kevin Smith episode.
Would you want to? No. Let me throw this idea out there. Would you want to watch Clerks for next week?
Ooh, is that his first movie?
That's his first movie.
Okay, I think I would like to do either for a Talk Tuesday. I don't know if it's, we usually try to go for about an hour and a half. Sometimes like today, almost 2 hours. Do you think if it was like an entire Talk Tuesday, because Talk Tuesday isn't like, doesn't have to be the name of the show, and
Yeah.
it wouldn't be different programming. Talk Tuesday is just the day of the week where we talk about stuff. So we could have a Talk Tuesday where you just get to do an experience share about Kevin Smith movies.
It's up to you if you want me talking for longer than I already do.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see why not. We could also just set up like another random day of the week, like a Thursday.
I'm going to be a little busy the next couple weeks,
Oh, that's fair.
but with you know what I was doing. What's going on?
Yeah, for sure.
So-
Well, unless I experience a lot of things next week, I don't have a whole lot to talk about. So we could see. Why don't we see how we land on things to talk about next week? And if it's a lighter week, we can just give it all to Kevin Smith. Because I want to hear, before I know anything about, or before I watch any of his movies, I want to hear from like the biggest fan of Kevin Smith that I know,
Okay.
like why you love it. And when people do that and I see their passion in their eyes light up, it makes me want to experience it with them. So I will
Okay.
digest everything that you say, and I'll, maybe watch his first movie for whatever the next.
And then you'll give it 2 thumbs down, just like Blazing Saddles, and rip my heart out.
I know, and then we'll break
No.
up, and then
No, it'll be fine. If you hate it, it'll be no offense to Kevin Smith is a very polarizing figure in
Yeah.
cinema. So it's a very love or hate relationship. with a
that's
lot of
what
his
I've
stuff.
imagined. That's what I imagine. Acquired taste, I've heard for his movies.
Definitely.
All right, well, yeah, we'll see how we feel next week, and you enjoy the rim of the sky, and as always, I appreciate the conversations and the talking on these Talk Tuesdays. So
I'm talking on these Tuesdays.
yeah.
All right, y'all. It's always a pleasure, Andrew. I will see you all next week, and I'm going to go over to Skyrim.
Alrighty, sounds good. Take it easy.
Bye.
See ya. Doo-doo. And he was gone. Whoops, I always push the wrong button. And he was gone. That's gonna do it for me as well. I will probably just do a quick little raid and send my few viewers over to his stream. If you were in the stream and chatting, I greatly appreciate it. if you're in the stream and not chatting, what's the matter with you? No. I encourage you to do so. The point of the experience point is to share our experiences. So I love my lurkers, but I always want to hear what people have to say. So on that note, what I have to say is it is later than I expected and I hunger. So I'm going to get some food, and we'll see y'all tomorrow for Wildcard Wednesdays, where even I don't know what I'm going to play. Bye.